If you don't have a lot of experience working with pivot tables, you might be uncertain as to what arrangement to start with. It's all well and good to create a pivot table, but where do you want to put your headers, and how do you want the data laid out? Well, in Excel 2013, the Excel programming team has added what are called recommended pivot tables. You click inside of a data list or Excel table, click recommended pivot tables, and Excel suggests some layouts for your data. And in this movie, I'll show you how to take advantage of that new feature. I will use the recommended sample file, which you can find in the Chapter 1 folder of your exercise files archive. This workbook contains a single sheet, and I have an Excel table with quarterly sales data for a bunch of different departments of a company. To create a recommended pivot table from that data, I click any cell in the list, and then on the Insert tab, click Recommended Pivot Tables. Doing so displays the Recommended Pivot Tables dialog box. I can scroll down the list of recommendations, and the one that's selected is previewed here in the right-hand pane. You can see right off that some of the suggestions don't make a lot of sense. For example, counting sales by department, well, there are 4 quarters, so of course count of sales will always be 4. Same thing for sum of quarter by department. Quarters 1 through 4 add up to 10, so that doesn't really give you any good information. But if you scroll down by dragging the vertical scroll bar, you can see one that does make sense, and that is the first one with the label sum of sales by quarter and department. So if I click that preview, I can see it over here in the preview panel. So I have the quarters for the row labels and the departments for the column labels. That looks like something that I'd like to create, so I'll click OK. And doing so creates a pivot table with exactly that layout. If you look in the pivot table fields pane, you can see that department, quarter, and sales are in the columns, rows, and values areas respectively. So that's the basics of creating a recommended pivot table. It's very quick, and like I said, it's new in Excel 2013 and quite useful.